For the week 11 of Applied Business Tools and Technology, so we will discuss on the topic about business communication skill. So what are the intended learning outcome or learning objectives for this week 11 topic? So at the end of this module, we are expected to number one, define business terminologies and list common business documents in hospitality and tourism. So dito po sa week 11 topic, so aside from business communication skills, itatakal din natin yung mga common business terminologies na ginagamit po for the hospitality and tourism industry. So, dapat familiar tayo sa mga common business terminology syempre para in the near future, ayan, so ma-apply natin po dun sa mga iba't ibang field of career natin once nag-graduate tayo sa school. So, number 2, explain the importance of business etiquette and its role in professional relationship. So, bakit ba kailangan aware, pag-aralan itong mga common na business etiquette, proper behavior in a professional way. So, syempre nga, ayun nga, pag-graduate natin, so, nasa iba't ibang career kayo, lalo na pagka sa mga business setup. So, yun, para alam natin paano tayo makipag-communicate, humarap doon sa ating mga client, investor, so, in a professional way. So, yung number 3, so, supposed to be ito is application through role play activity. So, dahil nga hindi tayo nakapag face-to-face discussion, so naiba na yung ating seat work for this week lang lesson. So, for the introduction, so basahin natin, business communication is the process of sharing information between people within the workplace and outside a company. So, effective business communication is how employees and management interact to reach the organization or company's goal. So, why it is important to have business communication skills? So, syempre, without proper communication, so paano magkakaintindihan yung mga employees, management, within doon sa company, within that organization or department. So, syempre, kailangan ng clear and concise communication. So, si employee, so, mas madali niya makukuha yung instruction ng management. So, ayan, with proper communication or clear communication. Syempre, may impact po yun doon sa productivity and performance nila sa kanilang trabaho. Syempre, kung malinaw yung instruction, may effective na communication, yun, nakakatulong yun para ma-maintain din yung positive relationship within the workplace. So, especially, ayun nga, with your clients, customer, so kailangan ng effective communication din, syempre. Yun, para ma-maintain din natin yung good relationship sa ating clients or customer. And, syempre, this will result to customer satisfaction and loyalty. Yan, yun nga, meron tayong effective na communication within the workplace. So, next po. So, yun nga. What are the common business terminologies or business languages? So, ano ba yung mga common na ginagamit sa business world? Ayan. So, una, business plan. A business plan, as the name implies, a document used to explain the strategy of an organization, set growth targets for the next 3 to 5 years, identify information needed to achieve those goals, such as target market, unique selling points, marketing goals, etc. So, it can also highlight strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, or the abbreviation na SWOT. Business plans are important for those forming or starting up a company and would be needed in order to receive funding from banks, the government, or investors. So, si business plan po is siya yung, kumbaga, comprehensive document which outline yung goals, objectives, strategies ni company. So, lahat po yun naka-indicate sa kanilang business plan. Financial plan ni business, so naka-indicate din doon sa kanilang business plan. So, sabi dyan, it set growth targets for the next 3 to 5 years. So, ano ba yung mga strategies ni company to achieve yung kanilang goals? So, may tinatawag kasi na sa mga businesses, may tinatawag na 3-year development plan, 5-year development plan. So, doon po naka-indicate yung kanilang goals and objectives for the next 3 years or for the next 5 years ni company. So, after 3 years or after 5 years, so, i-check nila yon. So, ano na ba yung mga na-achieve nilang goals? Ano yung mga hindi pa. So, ano yung kailangan i-improve to achieve those goals? So, lahat po yun is nandoon sa business plan ni company. So, sabi diyan, kasama din yung target market, ayan, marketing goals, ayan, marketing strategies na gagamitin nila or effective doon sa kanilang company. So, syempre, hindi rin mawawala si SWOT analysis. So, ayan, strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat ni company, and also yung SWOT analysis ng kanilang direct and indirect competitor. So, syempre, para tayo makakasabay doon sa competition without analyzing nga yung capabilities, ayan, nung ating mga competitor. So, yun, si business plan po is very helpful siya for those starting up a business. So, kasi nga, yun yung nagiging guide nila through each stages nung pagsisimula nila nung business or nung company. So, kung paano nila i-manage effectively yung kanilang business or company. So, kumbaga, mas may clear direction na sinusundan, yun nga, in order to achieve yung success for the company. So, syempre, for the investor din natin, so, nakaka-attract yun doon sa potential investors natin kapag meron tayong detailed na business plan. Syempre, kung ikaw si investor, why would you invest doon sa company na alam mong walang patutunguhan or walang concrete plan. So, with the business plan, so, ayun nga, napapakita ni company na yun, kung ano yung kanilang mga goals, strategies to achieve those goals. So, yan. So, dapat every business or company should invest ng time nila in preparing yung kanilang business plan. So, bago mag-start ng business. So, importante na may concrete plan. Ayan. Naka-indicate doon sa kanilang business plan lahat ng movement, lahat ng plano na i-apply nila doon sa company. Next, we have balance sheet. So, a balance sheet details company's finances for a certain moment in time, often the end of the financial year. This lists the company's asset values, things that belong to it, liabilities, what it owes, and equity of ownership. So, what is left after liability. So, yan. In short, si balance sheet po, ito yung financial statement ni company. So, ano ba naka-indicate doon? Company's asset. So, pag sinabi natin company's asset, yung pagmamayari ni company. So, ano ba yung mga property niya, pagmamayari, and so on. Liabilities naman. So, in Tagalog, so, kumbaga yung kautangan, yung mga kailangan bayaran ni company. So, naka-indicate po yun doon sa kanilang balance sheet. So, again, and then, what is equity of ownership? So, it is what is left after liability. So, kumbaga, kung bibigyan natin siya ng simple formula, asset minus liability, so, lalabas po yung equity. So, kumbaga, yung natira, after mong ibawas yung mga liabilities or kautangan ni company doon sa kanyang asset. So, after nun, so yun ang tinatawag na equity. So, kumbaga yung natira nga doon, siya yung pinaka-value ng isang company. So, yan, si balance sheet din po. So, siya yung kumbaga summary nga nung financial status ng company. So, para po ma-evaluate yung performance ng business when it comes sa monetary or sales. So, kailangan natin ng balance sheet. So, kumbaga, lahat ng figures, digits, ayan, budget ng company, finances. So, naka-indicate po lahat iyon sa kanilang tinatawag na balance sheet. So, kumbaga, yung financial record ni company nandoon po sa balance sheet nila. Business terminology, so startup process. The term startup is used to describe a brand new company, usually in its first few months or years of trading. So, pag sinabi natin startup process, so yan, kumbaga yung initial stage or early stage ng business, so yan, kaka-enter nyo lang sa market, kaka-launch lang ng business, so nagsisimula pa lang usually during the first few months or years ni company sa industry. So, during the startup process, so ano ba yung mga kailangan ni company i-prepare? So, sabi nga natin kanina, business plan. So, aside sa business plan, so we have to obtain permit, yan, legal permit, legal papers, para yun, legal tayo mag-ooperate ng ating business. So, kumbaga, bago tayo mag-operate ng business, syempre, we have to secure permits and necessary legal documents. And of course, syempre, ano pa ba kailangan pag during the startup process? Of course, the fund or, yun nga, yung pinaka-importante is yung capital or puhunan ni company. So, whether it is coming from your savings or kaya maglo-loan sa bangko si company. So, uh, ano pa? So, of course, your products or services. So, it's either tangible physical product or intangible. Service yung iyong i-offer sa iyong magiging mga client or target market or customer. So, paano pagsiset ng tamang pricing sa product? Ayan. So, another important factor, so yung business location, syempre, so isa yan sa check natin. So, during the startup process, so kung accessible ba sa target market mo, sa customer, yung business location, so easily accessible ba? So, syempre, paano ka magkakaroon ng customers kung mahirap pong hanapin yung store, hindi accessible, hindi convenient para kay customer natin. So, kaya nga, di ba, yan, ngayon, so, hindi na lang physical store, so, meron na tayong mga online platform, yan, e-commerce, yan, para may other options si customer to avail yung product natin, lalo na dun sa mga physical product or tangible products. And of course, huwag natin kakalimutan, yun nga, selection ng right business tools para dun sa ating business. So, syempre, you have to make sure na tama or applicable yung mga business tools na pipiliin natin for our new business. So, yun. Dahil mag-invest tayo ng puhunan doon sa mga business tools, so make sure natin na kailangan talaga ni company yun or magagamit for the efficient ng workflow. So, ilan lang po yun sa mga nabanggit ko na kailangan during startup process ni company. And again, ayan, the term startup process, so yun, nag-describe yun sa business or company na bago pa lang doon sa market or yun nga, during the first few months or first year ni company doon sa business industry. So, next business term, forecast. So, just as a weather forecast, it forecasts what the weather would do based on its current state, external circumstances, new products, marketing strategies, and so on. So, a business forecast predicts various aspects of a company's future movement. So, kung si Pag-asa, merong tinatawag na weather forecast. Ayan, di ba, kung paano na monitor yung weather condition for this week or for the next week. Yan. So, ganun din po sa business. So, may tinatawag din business forecast. So, kumbaga, nape-predict na nila kung ano yung mga susunod na movement or mangyayari sa business industry. So, sa business naman, yan, pinag-aaralan yung current condition, yan, sa market, ayan, ano ba yung mga nangyari, for example, inflation, pagtaas ng bilihin. So, syempre, base dun sa monitoring, so, napipredict na nila yung possible outcome or result nun in the future ng mga sa business industry. So, for example, may na-monitor market trend ngayon. Ano ba yung trend ngayon sa market? So, kailangan natin sumabay yung business natin. So, doon sa trend ngayon sa market. So, doon na sisimula yung innovation ng bagong product. So, ano pa? Economic condition. So, kagaya ngayon po, yan. Taas ng bilihin, pagtaas ng gas, dahil nga doon sa mga nangyayaring gera sa ibang bansa. So, syempre, nakaka-apekto rin yun doon sa mga nearby countries. So, yun. Pagka nasa business industry ka, ilan yun sa mga na-forecast mo. And, kumbaga, na-anticipate mo na yung magiging resulta nun sa condition ng business mo yan sa economy. So, ano ba yung lagay ng ekonomiya ngayon? So, yun. So, forecasting in business, it refers to the process of estimating or predicting yung mga future events, trends, or magiging outcome nga sa business industry. So, yun. So, through forecasting din, na monitor din natin yung demand for the product or service. Yan. By analyzing yung ating past sales. So, kumbaga, for example, yung itong specific product natin ito, ang kumbaga, mas bestseller natin na product. So, through doon sa forecasting natin, so na-anticipate natin na kailangan ito yung mas bigyan nating pansin na ma-maintain yung stocks kasi siya nga yung bestseller, siya yung mas nagko-contribute ng higher income or sales dun sa company. So, kasama rin po yun dun sa forecasting. So, or kumbaga, kung ano yung mga fast-moving natin na product, so yun yung ating priority na ma-replenish yung stock natin. So, lastly, sa forecasting, so mas madali rin po natin ma-identify yung mga potential risks and opportunities that might affect our business. So, syempre, mas daling makapag-adapt sa changes kasi nga, ayun, prepared ka. Kasi nga, ayun, nape-predict mo, yan, may proper forecasting ka. So, it helps you to stay ahead doon sa iyong mga competitors kasi alam mo yung mga, kumbaga, magiging move mo, yan, base doon sa prediction or forecasting na ginagawa natin. So next, business terminology, marketing. So marketing refers to the commercialization of a product or service. It can take many forms, so including advertising, emailing customers, sending out leaflets or brochures, communicating with potential customers through social media, and so on. So marketing. So kumbaga ito yung ginagawa ni company to attract yung kanilang target market, customer, yan. To make them aware dun sa product natin. Siyempre, ano ba yung mga forms of marketing? So, advertising, yan, commercial, pwede rin through email. So, email marketing, leaflets, ayan, mga traditional forms ng marketing. Through social media promotion, yan, sa mga social media page, websites ni company, and any other form ng marketing po na alam natin na nagbibigay ng awareness dun sa ating mga potential customer, potential clients about our product or service. So, syempre, importante po yung proper marketing strategy. Yun nga. Kasi it boosts yung company sales. So, yung awareness ng mga potential customer natin about our product. So, syempre, ma-maintain natin yon with proper or effective marketing strategies. Kumbaga, nag-build tayo ng brand awareness doon sa ating mga potential client or customer. Next, another business terminology, USP or stands for Unique Selling Proposition, or in other term, tinatawag din po siyang Unique Selling Points. So, ano ba si USP? So, sabi dyan, it what makes your product or company different from similar offering. So, ganito lang yan kung papaikliin natin. So, for example, so, yung product natin, syempre, same product mo sa ating competitor. So, dahil nga same product kayo, dahil nga mahigpit yung competition, so, di ba, sa pricing, magtatapatan din yan ng pricing. So, almost same ng pricing, or yan, malapit yung pricing. So, syempre, ano yung magiging edge natin, or lamang do sa ating competitor. So, dapat, sabi nga, laging may something unique quality dun sa product natin, something different dun sa quality na in-offer ng ating competitor, lalo na kung same product. So, kung paano mag-stand out yung product natin, compare doon sa ino-offer na product ng ating competitor. So, yan, para ma-ensure natin yung success ng ating business, so, kailangan lagi sabi, merong USP or unique selling proposition or unique selling points yung ating product or yung ating company. So, either sa quality ba yan ng product, or doon sa marketing strategy natin. So, dapat lagi nating hahanapan ng something unique, something different yung ating product or company kesa doon sa ating mga competitor. So, next, so what are the business etiquettes and protocols? So, yan. Bakit ba kailangan meron tayong sinusunod na business etiquettes and protocol? So, sabi nga natin para alam natin yung proper or professional behavior, kung paano makipag-interact within the company or with your clients. So, unang-una, sabi dyan, number 1, give attention to names. Names are one of the first pieces of information about anyone that we meet. That is how individuals remember and address you. So, yan. Syempre, yan. Sa work, so, yan. Make sure natin na tama yung pronunciation natin ng name. Yan. Pagka, yan, ipopronounce natin yung name ng coworker natin or client. Paano natin sila i-address based sa gender ng ating client. So, yon, kailangan maging maingat po tayo doon. So, syempre, ayaw naman nating ma-offend yung ating coworker, new employee, or investor, or client natin. So, make sure natin na na-address natin sila ng tama base doon sa kanilang gender. And yun nga, yung pronunciation ng names. So, make sure na tama. And, ano pa? So, huwag tayong basta-basta magbibigay ng nickname. So, i-address natin sila kung ano po yung name na ginamit nila sa pag-i-introduce ng sarili nila. Or, basta, hindi tayo pwede magbigay ng nickname kasi nga, nasa business setup tayo. So, hindi naman natin yan tropa. So, address po natin sila in a professional way. So, business etiquette number 2, greet everyone. Not only it is respectful to welcome the individuals with whom you come in contact, but it creates relationships. You don't know who the people you welcome could be. So, it's crucial that everyone is welcome with the same kindness. So, syempre kahit saan naman po importante yung marunong tayong mag-greet. So, paano ba yung proper greeting? So, yan. So, yung simpleng good morning, hello, yan, how are you? Yan. So, simple nod or pag-smile natin every time na darating tayo sa workplace. Ayan. So, kumbaga, paano natin ipakita na tayo ay friendly or approachable. So, yung positive na relationship natin within the workplace. So, syempre, yan. Sometimes, so, magiging way din yan to start good conversation doon sa ating coworker or ayun, sa ating mga customer. So, yan. Remember to greet everyone. So, yan. Dahil nga nasa hospitality industry tayo, so yan. Dapat, yan. Yung ating proper or a good customer service. So, yan. Kasama dyan. So, number 3, give a handshake and make eye contact. So, handshakes are the universal business greetings. Having a powerful handshake is often considered a positive quality. A faint one is an unpleasant one. So, yan, yung pag-offer natin ng handshake, it is a polite and respectful way to greet someone. So, kumbaga, it shows professionalism natin. So, kunwari, during job interview, di ba, usually, ang unang nag-offer ng handshake is yung interviewer or yung HR. Pero kung if ever na hindi nila i-offer yung handshake, so, pwede naman tayo ang mag-initiate ng handshake. And huwag kalimutan yung eye contact. Sorry. And pag-smile while offering ng handshake. So, next, number 4, give cues that you show you're paying attention. So, yan, sabi diyan, when someone else is speaking, it is necessary to nod or smile. This means that you are interested and actively listening. It tells them that you care about what they think and value their views. So, paano ba natin mapapakita na we are giving attention dun sa kausap natin or interested tayo sa ating pinag-uusapan? So, syempre yun, yung simpleng pag-nod natin or smile, eye contact sa kausap natin. Syempre, lalo na kung investor natin yun, client. So, nagpapakita na yun ng ating sincerity and respect. And pinapakita nga natin na interested tayo sa sinasabi ng ating kausap. So, iwasan po natin na ma-interrupt yung nagsasalita. So, pagka may sasabihin tayo, so hintayin natin matapos yung nagsasalita natin na kausap. So, yan. So, mga simple gesture to show na we are paying attention doon sa ating kausap. So, number 5, introduce others. So, yan. For example, may bagong employee, may bago tayong coworker sa company, sa department natin. So, introduce natin siya sa other workmates natin. Yan. So, introduce natin siya. Yan. Sabi nga natin kanina, i-address natin sila doon sa proper tamang pronunciation sa name nila. So, huwag tayo agad-agad magbibigay ng nickname. So, i-address natin sila base sa gender or base doon sa preference ng ating coworker or kung si client man yan. So, yan. Kung si coworker yan, so, syempre, mafe-feel niya na welcome siya and positive yung environment or kultura doon sa isang company or department. Number 6, give handwritten, personalized thank you notes. It's perfectly good to send out auto confirmation and thank you emails of your clients make an online purchase. So a thank you by email, whoever is considered the event rude, especially with this a large account or as long-standing business relationship. So, yan. Kung naalala nyo ng week 2 natin, di ba sabi natin, even advanced na yung technology ngayon, some companies, gumagamit pa rin po sila ng postal mail. So, bakit kaya? Kasi sabi natin, mas personalized, di ba? Mas sincere yung dating. For example, pagka, yun nga, mga handwritten notes, yan, or personal na i-deliver kay client or investor natin. So, kumbaga, yung mga personalized and handwritten, so mas sincere ang dating. So, unlike doon sa email, thank you email. So, ayan. So, kaya ginagamit pa rin siya ng some companies. Kasi nga, mas sincere, mas personalized yung dating. So, number 7, proofread emails for grammar and typo mistakes. So, syempre, bago naman natin i-send kay client yung email natin, document, so, take time to proofread. So, check natin tama ba ang grammar, walang typo, walang maling spelling. So, ngayon, ang dali naman ang mag-proofread kasi nga may mga tools na tayong ginagamit like Grammarly. Ayan. So, si Microsoft, gine-check niya rin, ina-underline niya pagka mali spelling, mali yung grammar. Ayan. So, take time to proofread, syempre, para hindi magbigay ng negative impression doon sa client natin na, ayun nga, hindi tayo prepared. Yan, magre-reflect din po yun sa personality natin. And syempre, ang pangit naman ang impression ng client natin pag mali yung spelling, mali yung grammar. So, take time to proofread yung ating email document bago natin is-send kay client. Number 8, be polite and professional in all forms of communication. So, in any encounter, it does not matter whether you meet face-to-face, by phone, or email, you need to be professional. So, yeah. So, kahit anong form ng communication, either face-to-face, personal, through video call yan, or phone call. So, dapat we have to maintain yung ating professionalism, lalo na pagkausap natin si client, ayan, customer, ayan, kahit co-worker natin or ang ating mga head or yung mga manager natin. So, syempre, importante, aware din tayo dun sa ating tone of voice, kung professional yan, maayos. So, number 9, always be on time. So, always be on time when it comes to work or a meeting or deadline. Punctuality is crucial. So, time is important. So, ito, applicable naman po ito even sa school natin, di ba? So, yan. Lalo na sa business setup. Yan. So, iwasan po natin yung malilate yan during meetings with our clients. Ayan. Deadline ng task. So, make sure natin na on time natin na-achieve, na-accomplish yung mga tasks natin. Siyempre, yan. Dapat ngayon pa lang napapractice natin na to kasi syempre paglabas nyo sa industry, so after you graduate, so yan, magkakaroon kayo ng kanya-kanyang work, yan. Depende doon sa papasukin yung career, yan. So, syempre, magre-reflect po yan sa record natin sa company kapag yan, nalilate tayo, so magkakaroon ng salary deduction, etc. And, ayun nga, pangit po yun na work ethic pagka, yun nga, nalilate tayo sa mga meetings, ayan, sa mga deadlines ng task natin. So, always be on time. Or better, mas maaga pa nga. So, number 10, dress appropriately. Dress codes have been a lot more relaxed in recent decades. However, just because there's no rule that says you can show up for work in a hoodie, sweatpants, or flip-flops, that doesn't mean you should. So, yeah. Siyempre, yun nga. Sundin natin yung proper dress code sa company or any business setup. So, usually, may uniform sa company, casual attire man yan or semi-formal. So, syempre, tadyahin naman natin muna yung ating damit para neat and presentable tayo. So, ano pa? So, avoid too much accessory, syempre, pagka, ayun nga, hindi na siya professional tignan. And then, syempre, yan, importante rin yung comfortable po tayo doon sa ating suot. So, yan, sabi niyan, ayan, avoid hoodie, sweatpants, ayan, ano ba usually yung attire? Corporate attire, business attire, yan. So, sundin po natin yung proper dress code na pinapatupad ng company natin. So, for this slides naman, so punta po tayo sa cross-cultural etiquette. So, bakit ba kailangan nating pag-aralan din or maging aware po tayo doon sa business etiquette sa ibang kultura or sa ibang nationality or sa other countries. So, syempre kasi nga bilang nasa tourism and hospitality industry po tayo. So, once we graduate, so hindi lang po Pinoy yung ating magiging client, customer, so yan, co-workers, so iba't ibang lahi, so iba't ibang nationalities or ang ating mga kasalamuha. So, importante na, yun nga, may awareness tayo doon sa cultural differences sa different nationality yan sa mga magiging client natin. So, in cross-cultural business environments, people encounter different cultural norms, including business etiquette, verbal and non-verbal communication, and unfamiliar practices. So, while these differences can present challenges, they also provide immense opportunities. So, yan. So, syempre, yun nga, another way to show respect din, yun nga, yung aware tayo sa differences, yan, sa iba't ibang kultura ng mga different nationality ng ating mga magiging client, foreign client in the future. So, syempre, kung ano yung normal sa atin, so it might be offensive sa ibang nationality, sa ibang lahi. So, magkakaroon ng misinterpretation. So, yan, yung mga verbal cues, so magkakaiba rin kasi nga, depende doon sa kultura na meron. So, mainam na familiar po tayo doon sa differences na yun. So, communication style, depending on the culture, communication can be direct or indirect. Understanding these nuances helps avoid misunderstanding. So, syempre, yun nga, magkakaiba ng kultura ng lahi. So, yan, merong mga ibang nationality na gusto ng direct yung communication. Meron naman indirect. So, depende sa kultura. So, mamaya, didiscuss po natin yung different etiquette doon nga sa different nationalities or different countries. So, body language, nonverbal communication varies, and awareness of gestures and personal space is essential. So, syempre yun nga, sa mga nonverbal gestures, yan, magkakaiba din. So, may mga ibang nationality na gusto, hindi tayo masyadong malapit pagkausap natin sila. So, meron namang iba na normal lang yon. So, syempre para maiwasan yung mga ganong misunderstanding, so yan, kailangan nga aware tayo doon sa differences ng mga different client natin or foreign client. So, time perception, concepts of time such as punctuality differ across cultures. What is seen as efficient in one culture may be perceived as rude in another. So, syempre, yun nga, may mga nationality na very strict sila pagdating sa time, sa schedule ng meetings. So, take note natin yun. Ano pa? So, meron namang iba na normal lang sa kanila na, yun nga, nadidelay yung schedule. So, yan, make sure natin na aware tayo dun sa differences na yun. So, respect for traditions, being aware and respectful of cultural traditions can enhance tourism host interactions. Yun nga, yung cultural differences, so, irespeto natin yan, yung mga differences sa kultura, paniniwala, ritual, yan. Syempre, magkakaiba nga po. So, depende sa naging nakagisnan or kultura. So, respecting yung differences sa tradition to build ng good relationship doon sa ating mga foreign clients or investor. So, what else? So, non-verbal cues, gestures and facial expressions can vary in meaning. A thumbs up is positive in some cultures but offensive and in others. So, syempre kung nasa formal setup tayo, business meeting, so inappropriate naman talaga na gumamit tayo ng thumbs up. So, syempre, in some culture, offensive yon. Sa iba naman, like sa atin, so minsan normal lang. Yan, yung mga other gestures, facial expression. So, syempre, iba-iba po ng interpretation yan. Depende doon sa kultura ng ating nationality na kausap. So, next, greetings and salutations. How you greet someone varies widely, such as bowing in Japan or kissing cheeks in many European countries. So, yan, kung paano mag-greet, salutation sa kausap, yan, magkakaiba rin, depende sa kultura. So, kagaya nga sa Japan, usually nagbabaw sila as greetings doon sa kanilang kausap. So, sa European countries naman, normal sa kanila na nagkikis na sa cheeks ng kanilang kausap or committee. So, depende ka po yun sa nakagis ng kultura or tradition. So, indirect versus direct communication, some cultures value directness, while others appreciate subtlety and politeness to convey message. So, for example, in many Middle Eastern culture since common to engage in small talk before getting down to business. So, yan. Kumbaga, small talk muna bago magpunta dun sa business side. So, nagbibuild muna ng rapport or trust. Pero, meron ding iba namang nationality na gusto direct po yung communication. Kumbaga, prangka, straight to the point kung ano yung dapat pag-usapan sa or agenda doon sa kanilang business meeting. So, ayun. Again, differences depende dun sa different culture na meron yung ating foreign client. So, global business etiquette. So, yan. Tingnan naman natin yung differences nga per country, per nationality, ng kanilang business etiquette. So, for the Asian countries, ayan, business etiquette. So, for China, show up on time for business meetings. Punctuality is important to Chinese. Being late is offensive. So, Chinese professionals appreciate conservative dress code and you should avoid physical contact while conversing. So, yan. So, sa mga Chinese nationality, so very strict sila pagdating sa time. So, being late is considered as disrespectful or offensive. So, sa dress code naman, so, preferred nila yung mas conservative na dress code. So, usually casual clothing, ayan. So, ano ba? So, pagdating naman sa pag-enter dun sa room, sa meeting room, so, enter the room in hierarchical order. So, the person of the highest seniority should enter the room first and the rest should follow in order. So, yan. May tamang pagkakasunod nung dapat papasok sa meeting room. Ayan. So, depende doon sa seniority. So, senior member, so, should enter the room first. So, followed by others in rank order. So, kumbaga may pagkakasunod-sunod. Depende doon sa seniority yung papasok doon sa meeting room. So, avoid firm negatives such as simple no. Find an alternative such as that's something I'll have to think about. So, dahil nga they are Chinese nationality, so, ayaw nila nung tawag dito, sagot na no. So, kung ang sagot natin is no, so try to rephrase it or alternative na way na natin sasabihin. So, for example, nga yan sabi, that's something I will have to think about. So, ayun, iniiwasan nila yung negative sides na dala ng no. So, dahil nga they are Chinese nationality, so, di ba, alam natin naniniwala sa bad luck. So, ayun. So, ayaw nila ng mga negative na sagot doon sa kanilang during the conversation. So, next, another Asian country. So, sa Japan naman, Japanese professionals are known to exhibit a calm, collected demeanor in business communication. So, bowing is a typical way to greet one another. Handshakes sometimes occur, but you should let the Japanese person initiate them. So, yan. So, sa Japanese professionals naman, so, they are calm, usually calm, and ayun nga, maintain nila yung composure nila. So, hindi sila overly expressive doon sa kanilang behavior. So, bowing as a way of greeting, yan, sa tradition ng mga Japanese nationality. So, form of greetings nila yon. So, sometimes, sabi dyan, they do handshakes, pero hayaan natin na yung mag-unang mag-initiate ng handshake is yung the Japanese person na kausap natin. So, wag po tayo yung unang mag-initiate ng handshake dito sa mga Japanese client natin. So, sabi dyan, when exchanging business cards, sa Japanese ritual known as Mishi, make sure you use both hands and don't write on the card in front of the giver. So, be patient in negotiation. So, yan. So, sa tradisyon sa ritual ng Japanese, so may tinatawag na Mishi. So, for example, inabot sa atin yung business card. Huwag natin aabutin yun using one hand lang. So, gusto nila both hands natin. So, yan. As a show of respect doon sa ating kausap na Japanese client. So, huwag din tayo magmadali. Yung susulatan na natin yung card in front of our Japanese client. So, kumbaga, ang impression nila dun is, dinidisrespect natin yung ating kausap. So, yan. Huwag tayong magmadali. So, tandaan din natin yung proper way paano abutin yung business card. Yan nga, yung ritual ng Japanese nationality. So, don't rush the process as it's important to demonstrate that you're thinking long term. So, yan, huwag tayong magmadali. So, na papakita natin yung respect natin, yun nga, doon sa hindi natin minamadali yung process no transaction natin doon sa Japanese professional or client na kausap natin. So, kumbaga, ang tawag dito, impression nila doon is nagmamadali tayo, disrespect sila, and impulsive tayo pagdating doon sa decision making. So, take time. So next, for the European countries naman, so business etiquette sa Germany. So business events in Germany are well structured and straight to the point. So kumbaga ayaw nila ng mga small talk, indirect talk. So direct to the point, prangka. So kung ano yung dapat pag-usapan sa meeting, so pag-usapan agad. So be punctual. Germans value time and expect meetings and appointment to start promptly. Arriving late can be seen as disrespectful. So same dun sa mga nauna natin kanina nationality. So big deal din sa kanila yung pagiging on time. So, very strict sila pagdating sa time. So, arriving late, so, nagpapakita ng disrespect. So, yan. Pag nalate tayo sa meeting with our German client, so, yan. Expect na natin na negative impression agad yung na-provide natin doon sa ating client. So, ano pa? So, minimal small talk nga, sabi dyan, dapat direct to the point. And so, when entering business meetings, allow the oldest person to enter the room first. So, parang kagaya kami na sa Chinese nationality na client. So, base sa seniority, yung pag-enter sa room. So, yan, sa Germans din. So, allow the oldest person to enter the room first. So, eldest up to youngest, yan yung order ng pag-enter doon sa. So, another European country, so sa France naman, so making appointments for both business and social occasions is vital in France. So, punctuality is valued but sometimes treated casually. So, don't be surprised if your French colleagues arrive late. So, unlike dun sa mga nauna natin kaninang foreign clients, so, sa France naman, so, normal sa kanila yung nalalate. Yan, minsan, doon sa scheduled meeting. So, yan, sabi nga niyan, don't be surprised if your French colleagues arrive late. So, hindi sila ganun ka-strict pagdating sa time. So, the nation that created haute couture puts a premium on style. So, fashion and appearance are more important in France than in many other countries in the world. So, yun nga. Dahil more on fashion, yung usually kultura sa France. So, yan. Big deal din sa kanila or mas pinagbigyan nila rin ng importance yung attire, dress code natin sa mga business, meeting, or social occasions. So next, so still a European country. So sa Italy naman, Italians don't prioritize punctuality. So be patient and prepare for any delays that may arise. So same with France kanina. So hindi ganun ka priority yung pagiging punctual or being on time sa meeting. So in Italian business culture, it's not common to give gifts, especially expensive ones. So yan naman yung pagkakaiba. So kung sa atin as Pinoy, so usually, di ba, pag may guest tayo, yan, for example, guest speaker, or any guest, valued guest, so usually nagbibigay tayo ng token, di ba, or gift. So, for the Italians naman, so hindi nila prepare or kumbaga uncommon para sa kanila to give ng gifts or token. So, especially pagka yung mga expensive ones na regalo or token. So, nagiging offensive yun sa kanilang kultura. So, avoid giving gifts or token. So, baka ma-misunderstand pa nung ating Italian client. So, kumbaga, wala siyang baka mag-result pa dun sa negative impression. So, avoid giving gifts dun sa Italian clients natin. So, like France, Italy is a major center for European fashion. Formal attire is generally expected for business meetings. So, yan. Big deal din sa kanila yung attire. Ayan. So, more on fashion kasi pagka nasa mga European countries. So, formal or stylish clothing yung expected nila na attire natin pagka nasa mga business meetings tayo. So, dressing well shows respect for the meetings and yun nga, sa mga participants ng meeting. So, dress appropriately. So, presentable. So, parang mag-provide ng positive impression sa ating Italian client. So, sa United Kingdom naman, so punctuality and preparation are valued in the UK. So, arrive on time. So, hindi sila kagaya ng kanina. So, France saka Italian. So, mas pinahahalagahan nila yung pagiging on time, being on time, well prepared sa mga meeting. So, essential po yan sa United Kingdom. So, when conversing with the British, try saying please, thank you, and sorry frequently, as this is considered polite. So, unlike Brazilians, Brits like to protect their personal space, so don't stand too close. So, yan. So, try to use daw yung mga phrase like please, thank you, sorry. So, nagpapakita yun ng pagiging polite or respectful dun sa kausap nating foreign client. So, ano ba? So, giving personal space. So, avoid being too close or yung physical contact. So, ayaw nila no. So, sa kultura nila. So, they value yung personal space and they may feel uncomfortable if too close tayo dun sa ating kausap. So, yan. Respect natin yung boundaries and avoid nga yung masyadong malapit dun sa ating kausap na foreign clients or sa Brazilians or Brits. So, yan. Depende kasi nga sa cultural differences. So, yan. Punta naman tayo doon sa business etiquette when we are in the virtual or hybrid business meeting setup. So, applying etiquette in virtual and hybrid settings. So, the rise of virtual and hybrid work environments has created new etiquette requirements so that combine traditional business practices with digital specific considerations. So, ngayon naman, normal na yung virtual setup ng meetings, seminars. So, syempre, may proper business etiquette din during video call, during online meeting. So, yan sabi dyan, be aware of your body language during video call. So, as participants will subconsciously pick up on your non-verbal cues. So, iwasan natin yung distraction, makaka-distract doon sa other participants sa online meeting or online webinar. To be safe, keep your body movements to a minimum, focusing on the upper half of your body visible on camera. So, yun, pagka nasa online meeting, so at least half ng body natin, upper body is visible sa camera. So, syempre, yung proper attire, observe pa rin natin kahit na online meeting setup yan. So, dress appropriately pa rin or yung professional na dress code. So, don't multitask during virtual meetings. So, attempting to do multiple things will make you flustered and distract you from your main objective. So, it's also rude to do something else when you should focus on the call. So, yan. Kahit naman, di ba, sa mga online classes natin, yan, virtual meeting. So, minsan natatempt tayo na mag-multitask or merong ginagawang iba. So, syempre, pag nasa business setup, lalo na pag virtual meetings, so avoid any unnecessary movements or other activities. So, pwedeng mag-distract sa atin and other participant. So, baka mamaya tinatawag ka na doon sa online meeting, hindi mo pa naririnig kasi nga may iba kang ginagawa. So, siyempre, rude and disrespectful yun. So, mute when not speaking, maintain eye contact with the camera, ensure appropriate lighting and background. So, siyempre, kung hindi tayo yung nagsasalita, so make sure na nakamute yung ating audio. So, maintain eye contact. So, maintain yung eye contact sa camera to show respect doon sa nagsasalita. So, ensure appropriate lighting and background. So, what are the business documents naman na kailangan? So, business documents are materials that represent you, your department, your corporation, whether they are external parties or other stakeholders in your organization. It is a form of organized document that is used for business purpose to keep things systematic. So, syempre maraming different business documents na kailangan depende doon sa organization, depende sa company. So, kailangan proper and organized yung mga necessary documents ni company. So, yan. What are the examples ng business documents? Formal letters or memos. Ano ba? So, financial documents. So, yung balance sheet na kanina na-discuss natin. Ano ba? So, naka-indicate doon yung income, financial statement, financial status, budget ni company. So, ano pa? Accounting documents. So, reports, proposal, business proposal sa client, investor. Ano pa? Business plan. So, essential yan. Lalo na sa mga uh, startup businesses pa lang. So, customer service documents. So, operational documents and meeting summaries or yung tinatawag natin na minutes of the meeting. So, importante na properly documented and recorded yon. Siyempre, so para madaling balikan yung documents. So, digital communication skills for business. So, digital communication involves the use of electronic tools to send messages. So, common ways of communicating digitally include through email, text messages, online chat, video conferencing, and social media. So, kumbaga, di ba kasi may dalawang form ng communication, merong digital and traditional. So, ito yung digital side. So, yan, with the help ng electronic devices, yan, business tools, yan. So, maraming form ng communication using nga ng different platform to communicate sa client, sending files dun sa ating clients, co-workers. So, yan, mas efficient na with the help ng technology. So, the importance of communication skills. So, it improves the speed and accuracy of information. So, with the help ng mga electronic devices or tools natin, so, mas efficient, madaling mag-edit, minimize yung any grammatical error, spelling error. So, sabi nga natin kanina, meron na tayong Grammarly or other tools to proofread yung ating documents, emails. Messages can be shared at a much quicker rate, which can help keep external stakeholders up to date while easily delivering information to internal stakeholders to improve decision making. Kumbaga, mas magdali, mas efficient, mas accurate. So, with help nga ng mga communication tools natin. So next, improve productivity. Digital networking enables many issues with production equipment to be addressed remotely, such as screen sharing to fix computer problems. So this lower cost and the effect of equipment breakdown is minimized. So, yun nga, mas productive with the help ng mga business communication skills. So for example, iyan sabi dyan, screen sharing to fix yung computer problem. So, yan, for example, yung tinatawag na system or application like TeamViewer. So, with the help ng TeamViewer na system, yung mga IT staff natin, hindi na kailangang personal pupunta dun sa store or sa branch. So, through screen sharing, so remotely, naaayos nila kung ano yung kailangang ayusin sa computer. So, using lang ng code na ipoprovide pag inopen yung system doon sa office or sa store. So, access na remotely ni IT personnel yung computer or equipment. So, syempre, it lowered the cost of traveling. Yan. So, mas on time yung or agad-agad yung pag-fix ng problema dun sa computer or equipment. Next, access to wider audience. So, businesses will now have far better access to a larger audience. So, syempre, yan, with the help ng business tools as communication tools. So, mas wider na yung access, mas wider na yung potential customer na nare-reach natin. So, unlike before, na more on traditional yung form ng marketing ngayon, with the help ng mga communication platform, yan, other platform, technology, so mas mabilis na, mas wider audience na yung ating pwedeng ma-reach. Yun, and that's it for our week 11 module. So, references for this lesson. So, again, yan, yung book na to na available sa library. So, reference ko natin yan from prelim up to final. So, some additional web page reference. So, pwede nyo i-check. So, yan, mga additional references natin. And media reference na related dito sa ating week 11 lesson. So, activities already uploaded sa Schoology. So, skip na muna natin yung activities. So, posted naman na sa Schoology po. So, ayan, SDG goal. So, yan. SDG alignment with our week 11 module. So, this lesson is aligned with the SDG number 4, quality education. SDG 8, decent work and economic growth. SDG 9, industry innovation and infrastructure. 17, partnership for the goals. And SDG 10, reduce inequalities. So that's it po for our week 11 module. So take time to review, to listen. Ayan. Self-paced na panoorin or pakinggan po itong recorded lesson natin kasi nga week 11 and week 12 is ang cover ng ating semifinal exam.